for the time being, pretend that my production value is high. I'm just kind of sitting in the garage here. I do it outside, but man, it's like summer here and it's so sunny, it just bleaches it out. So you do what you have to do. Anyway, kind of goes along with the idea of use what you have. If you're traveling through the plains and you find a burned out covered wagon and the wheels are in good shape, make a bow out of that white oak they made the wheels out of. Kind of goes along with, if you read the traditional Boyer's Bibles, making bows out of hickory handles for rakes and shovels and stuff like that. You use what you have. In this case, I've got a variety of stakes, but I'm going to talk about Osage orange. Now, which a lot of people don't realize this, gather logs, sections, you're going to use them for bows. You just stick them away, you don't split them, what have you. Chances are you're going to get errant splits when you take the bark off after a while, which no bugs got into this, so excellent. The splits are uncontrolled. They don't know what to do. Under pressure, and so it'll form a split, so when it dries out, like in the case of this elm log that I just cut, didn't debark it, and then just ran a chainsaw down to the center of the log. It was controlled. And when I took my draw knife this morning, shaved it off, there are no random errant splits. It knew what to do. It had a map to follow. Whereas this didn't so much. There's a split. Maybe you can't see it. It goes like this, kind of at a little angle, and then boink, at the same angle, and then boink at the same angle. And that doesn't mean that the fibers are twisted. It just did its best to do this under difficult circumstances, but that's all right. What I'm going to do, and it's in a lovely spot. The rest of the log isn't touched. I have these Osage logs that still have the bark on it. It's like, oh my gosh, how did they split? Well, number one, split pretty darn good. And I don't have a lot of knots on this side, and it's pretty straight. And so, whoa! Once I Sharpie line, straight edge, and the different angles on these three, 1, 2, 3 splits that are kind of like doink, and then like doink, like this, the kerf is almost going to erase those. And I'm going to have a nice straight, voila, it's all good. Now, a couple notes here. Sometimes something is a bow at 24 inches, and it's a piece of firewood at 28 inches. Expectations. I discuss, talk to, reply to comments of people from time to time which will say, I've been making a lot of bows and they keep breaking. I would ask you, it's metaphysical, this is existential. Was it a bow before it broke? What is a bow? It's a piece of wood, string, bend it back, throws an arrow. Was that a bow before you broke it? You know, expectations. It reminds me of a particular bow, a short bow. It was made out of hop hornbeam, ironwood, sinew backed, very authentic. I think it was 46 inches long. It's, you know, it's straight out of history. Sinew bowstring, the whole 9 yards. Beautiful bow. I told the guy, and he's new to short bows. I said, this is a short draw bow. It will remain a good short draw bow, hop hornbeam, sinew back, provided you don't overstress it. It is what it is. 60 pounds at this draw length, whatever it is. He shot it a lot, day after day after day. Put a lot of time in on this bow. And then it's like, he showed me a picture of himself. Mediterranean draw. I mean, this 6 foot tall guy is drawing the short bow back like this. I said, dude, you're drawing it back too far. Some time passed. This is a bad bow. It's not working anymore. And it's like, you killed it. It was a bow at the draw length I said it was, and he exceeded that numerous times over the course of weeks. You know, so don't get discouraged if you keep breaking bows. Maybe it's just that your expectations. Darn it, I want to have a 28-inch draw, and that's a 24-inch draw bow or a 26-inch draw bow. Work with the bow. Don't try to dominate it necessarily. But yeah, last bit. I had some metal doing subterranean work with my chainsaw. It's like, yeah, these low profile Pico chains, I believe they're called, little 3/8-inch pitch for these little MS 170s. You know, it lasted a long time. I was rather surprised with how I abused this, and it was still good. But it was time to buy a new loop. That's the correct term for this chain. It's a loop. Go to Ace, pick up a 55, an S55. You know what it says? For a steel 170, 3/8-inch pitch, blah-de-blah-de-blah, low profile, blah, it should work. And they happen to change the thickness of the metal that runs in the rails of the bar by 1/10 of a millimeter. And they didn't have that chain that I bought in this. This is only like, what, a year, 2 years old? And they felt it necessary. So then I return it. I was very careful with opening the packaging. I went to Tractor Supply, and I bought this. And it says it's compatible with a steel MS-171, which has a different type of adjustment for the tightening. So intuitively, it's like, it'll probably work. And it's an S55 with a 0.5 millimeter width of steel that runs in the rails. I wound up having to buy a new bar and chain, which was only like about $4 more than the chain I bought today. So no big deal. I've got 2 bars now. And it worked. This now takes the 0.5 millimeter. You have to be very conscious of every measurement, you know, for a chain or a loop. And so it works. So I will tell you right now, you bought this brilliant little saw, MS-170, and you're shopping for a bar and loop that says it's compatible with a 171 and it doesn't say 170. Those 2 saws will use the same bar. So you're good there. And with that, I am going to, I don't know if you could even, well, yeah. Okay, let's get some action. Can you see me? Again, high production values currently, but that's going to change. Get that all the way down to gopher level. We'll put that there, kind of. That'll work. Sorry about that. Oh. Always let your saw warm up a few minutes before you actually fire it up, because you don't want to injure it. There, I'm sure the neighbors love me. Yeah. Nice. It looks like it didn't have any random splits. The kerf kind of ate up the little errant splits there. And now I've got this beautiful clean stave here. And I'll probably use my saw again to do a parallel line here, which means then I've got another bow here. And I'll just use my chainsaw for this instead of splitting it, because I will get more bows out of it that way. And because they're relatively thin, there's a good chance I might be able to layer it in out of each, provided I make the triangles wide enough at the widest part, and think about the depth. I might be able to layer it and get actually 6 bows out of this thing, 6 or 7 horse bows. Well, that is all. That is enough. Keep on keeping on.